Hi folks, got a hobby update for you. Things I'm working on, things on the table, games being played, all that good stuff. Long overdue actually. I think I usually try and put them up once a week, but I think it's been about 9 days or so. But regardless, a lot going on. As you can see here, I got a couple different commissions here, plus some Forge and Brush units that I've been working on, some of which I based in the past week of painting and chatting. I'm going to show you guys what I accomplished so far. First up, we got these guys. This is that 20-man unit of Patriot Minutemen, or militia, that I've been working on for quite a while, actually. And the last 3 figures I completed, excuse me, and managed to get the whole unit based. So here they are. They're on their Litco bases. Don't have the best lighting in here at the moment. Kind of changing my location today, but gives you an idea. This guy here, the one with the red coat, I'm thinking of going back and kind of fading that red out a little bit. It's kind of bright. It kind of stands out. He's the only guy in there with that coat color going on. So I might actually go back and tone it down a little bit. He stands out a little too much. Otherwise, everything is spot on the way I anticipated. Kind of hard to see. And I'll make a separate video once these guys are all done and bases are flocked and all that stuff and show them off. I try to kind of catalog all my projects that I've completed and worked on for you guys separately. So they'll get their own video. So there they are. That is the 20-man militia unit. These are Old Glory 28s, of course. And they will be available for purchase soon. So there is these guys. Next up, I've got this is basically, it's 2 commissions here. This one in the back I'll save for later. But these guys here are 10mm aim, which I guess I stand corrected on. I think it's Minifig that produces these over in the UK. The aim line. They're originally minifigs. Funny that. These are well along. These guys over here make up the bulk of them. And as you can see, these guys all have the white armor painted on. And when I say all these guys, I mean all these guys as well. So this whole lot, as you can see, is the furthest along. They've got the flesh tones painted. They got the white armor and the tunics and so on and so forth, all painted. And I believe this is the entire commission, I think. It's like 130 some pikemen, 3 different poses. But right now I'm waiting on a few paints to come in sometime this week or early next week so I could finish these off. The only thing that's left is the pike, obviously, which is going to be a desert sand color, and the shields and the greaves and helmet, so the bronze-colored armor, basically. And they're hard to see because, you know, you look at them in the front, it looks very black, and that's because of that shield in the way. Show them off in the back, you can see a little bit more of what's going on. They're turning out really nice. I still have to do little minor details like the strap around the shoulder, which has the sword on it. Get behind the shield, and if I can, I'm going to do some of the sandals, if I can do that. It's very small. That would be last. And of course, the base, I'll give a little earth tone. And these guys will all be completed, so I imagine maybe another 2 weeks. We shall see. And this commission will be complete, so that'd be about 4 or 5 weeks as a project, but don't hold me to that. I do have a lot on the go. And I think, let me take a look. No, this actually isn't the entire project. There's actually, I believe, 16 or so more figures, front rank figures with the pike level to the ground that I have part of this. And they're all primed. They're just waiting for their flesh to go on. So yeah, this 10mm project, Macedonian Pikemen, AIM figures, is getting close to being completed. It's getting there. And of course, when these are completed, I will do a showcase video on these as well in the future. Now, a second commission I'm working on a little bit earlier than I probably should be. I did have this set up to go start next week, But it's not a whole lot. It's not a huge project, but it's the beginning of a larger project. And these are Magister Militum 10mm figures. And these are Russian militia. And you can see these guys have been cleaned and primed. I used black primer on these guys. And this right here is about 30-some figures. And I have another 30-some figures as well to do, which is going to be a second batch I'll do separate from these. I'm going to complete this batch first, all these guys, which includes a drummer, an officer, a couple standard bearers. So these guys will be first, and I'll be starting on these probably next week. Like I said, I'm kind of jumping the gun with these. I'm pretty anxious to get to doing some Napoleonics, to be honest with you. And it also eventually will include some Cossack artillery. As you can see here, let's see if that focuses in. Getting a lot of glare. Again, sorry folks for the bad lighting here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's coming in a little bit. They're nice figures. I enjoy working with them so far. I've never worked with Magister Militum. There was a little bit of annoying cleanup on them. All these guys, for instance, seem to have this very annoying mold line that ran all the way around the back to the front of the figure. And that's annoying. And it's easy to miss. It depends on what angle you're holding the figure. You might miss it entirely, which I did for like half of these models, and I had to go back and clean them up. So there is a little extra cleanup on these, but I do like the detail. The posing is very reminiscent of the Essex brand 15mm figures. So yeah. So this is a second project I'm going to be working on. Again, a commission. This is next week, and you'll see more of these guys as I go through this. They're basically a dark green color. They got some red turnbacks and unit colors and so on and so forth. And eventually I'll get to these Cossack artillery as well. And we'll see what else comes in the future with this particular commission. And also, while I'm at it, I might as well show some of these off. These are... let me see here. These are part of the Pike commission. And I don't know if I showed these off. These are Pendraken Cavalry. Let's see if that'll focus in a little bit. No, it doesn't look like it. And these go alongside the AIM figures quite nicely. And again, they're part of the same commission, so these will be a project I'll be starting perhaps late this month. Maybe early next month, and is also part of that. Some of my old friends, Old Glory. These guys are allied infantry to the French. They're going to be painted up as Saxons, I believe. So there's all these guys to get to as well in the future. What else we got here? Some skirmishers for the Saxons as well. So there's more 10mm Napoleonics and cavalry for the Macedonians to take care of. So I'll show off these in the coming weeks as I get to them. This is a little bit later on down the road, but I want to show you something else here. These guys right here, Peter Pig. Now, I'm really impressed by these. These are 15mm, World War II. It's a mix of Fallschirmjäger, British Airborne, Red Berets, Red Devils, some motorcycles for the Germans. Very nice sculpts. Very impressed by these. I've only encountered Peter Pig's 15mm line with their ancients. I have some Imperial Romans, I believe. I think they're Imperial Romans. And they're beautiful. I always like them. But these guys are even more impressive. They actually look a little bit bigger than the ancients Peter Pigs I have. And I'm itching to get to these. And, of course, this is a separate commission. You'll see these probably next week as I start to clean them up and organize them into little batches of units and such. I'll be working on these, unlike I do with the Pikemen, where I'm doing basically the entire 130 plus miniatures at once. These guys I'm going to be working in units. So I'm working on completing each one as I go along. I'm not going to have all these going on all at the same time, which makes sense. That's how I would paint these. I got a couple Jeeps in here. Really interesting. They don't come with heads on the figures. The heads are separate, so you can change the posing of the heads, swap up the heads. That's nice. Really nice figures. Very impressed with these. And Right now I'm in the process of sorting through them, organizing them into units, and figuring out what I'm going to be working on first. And pretty decent sized commission. I'm excited to get to these. And again, you'll probably be seeing me working on these next week and in earnest in the week to follow. So yeah, very impressed by these figures. And I can't wait to do something a little bit bigger. Like, look at the detail on that guy's face. Fantastic. These would go right alongside the Battlefront figures. These are, in my opinion, better looking figures than the Battlefront figures. So, excellent choice of model for World War II. I think there's a guy in there with an umbrella somewhere. I can't see him. Saw him somewhere. There he is. The old chap there. He's got his umbrella waved in the air. Fantastic. So this is a little project I also wanted to show off. This is probably going to be working on this next week. I'll be getting to that. So there is those guys. And something else I want to do here is give out a shout out to my really good friend Ian Long, the Diomede F-16. He sent me recently a little Wargamers care package. And among other things, lots of wargaming related stuff, as well as some goodies from the UK. Some little treats like hobnobs and some teas and all that good stuff. And, you know, it's fantastic. It's like I said to him, it's like, wow, I feel like I just visited the UK. And it's fantastic. I really appreciate it, Ian. Really appreciate it. But on top of all that goodness, I've also got a ton of miniatures from him. So I'm going to try and show you guys what was sent to me in that little care package. And of course right here I got some Warlord Games blister packs. These are French and Indian War colonial settlers and beautiful figures. Single piece models. That's always nice. And what are these guys? French and Indian War armed colonial settlers. Even better. And these guys are going to be great to add alongside my AWI figures that I like to paint up and put out there. So we'll see how I get along with these guys. Very nice models indeed. Like the lady there. Very nice. Appreciate that, Ian. That was fantastic. And also, to go along with this, well, let's show this first. We've got this. Hessians. This is for the AWI. It's Warlord Games, of course. And these are the models from, I believe, War Games Factory that Warlord Games purchased. So this will be interesting, if not challenging, little project. I guess this is everything you get in this one box. Never worked with War Games Foundry before. And like I said, it will be interesting because these models tend to be a little bit difficult and tricky to work with when you're actually building the models. And I could see right away some of the models look a little bit funky. So I'm going to see what I can do working with these guys. Don't have any Hessians so far at all. So I'm very appreciative to have the chance to work on these. I do love my Hessians. 30 plastic Hessian infantry. 24 musketeers, fusiliers, grenadiers, including command group of 2 officers, sergeant, drummer, and 2 ensigns. 6 light infantry figures. Oh, okay, that's cool. 4-page background guide, including 14 full-color flags. That's even better. And I believe that's what this is. This is probably from another box set. This probably comes in the box set, so I might have 2 of these, which would be fantastic, because then I got duplicates of the flags. I can go crazy with this. So look at this. Wow. And I really love working with these plastic box sets. I know I worked with the Perrys and the Zouaves. Loved it. So I'm pretty excited to try this and see what I can come up with. Poses actually look pretty good. So again, we'll see how they were. I like this pose. All right. Got more flags there. Okay. Okay. Lib. All right, so that's these guys. Thanks, Ian, once again. And that's not it. Look at that, folks. Just look at this Warlord Games goodness. He knows I'm a big fan of ancients, especially Gauls and ancient Britons and all that kind of thing. And he was kind enough to send along 2 box sets of the ancient British warriors. 2 boxes, folks. 40 in each, so that's 80 models right there. That is a lot. But of course you want a lot, don't you, when you're working with Gauls? Yeah. And I believe, I haven't looked inside the box yet, but I believe that's the same sprues as these. I could be wrong. These are actually from the starter set. I believe that included the Romans. I'm not sure. But yeah, he threw these in as well. This is 5. No, it's 6 sprues of guys here. It's wrapped around his arm. See if we can pop that out of there. I think it's on his arm. There we go. Let's see if I can pop this out. Maybe show one of the sprues here. I don't know if they're all the same. I think they are. It kind of looks that way. That bottom sprue might be different. I don't know. There's some yeah, they are different. These guys have the horn and all that other good stuff. Let's see if I could show it off a little bit. As you can see, I love my Gauls. And of course, this would probably be for my own collection, because I do love Ancients, and I'm anxious to get into Clash of Spears, coming out soon. I believe it's on Kickstarter at the moment. They're hooking up with Victrix, and you're going to see some starter armies from Victrix for Clash of Spears. That's really exciting, because you know what? One of the main reasons I was attracted to Clash of Spears and skirmishing the Ancients period in general is because of the miniatures Victrix had. And I'm kind of actually excited to do that. Oh, this guy's sword's bent a little bit. I have to be real careful with that. You can see it right there. Easy fix. I have to be real careful there. That's okay. And God knows I got plenty of sprues. If it breaks off, that's fine. Got plenty of guys to work with here. I'm not really building a huge army like for Hail Caesar, but for skirmish games. So that would be okay, but I'll still try and fix that one. It looks like it's a little bit on the edge of snapping off. Not necessarily a bad thing either. You can always replace it with something else. It could be a dagger or whatever. But yeah, very nice. Got their separate shields, extra weapons. That's good. Yeah, I guess I could actually replace the guy's sword that's coming off with one of these swords here. If the sword snapped. So that's not an issue then. Very nice. So Ian, I really appreciate it. This is what? This is at least 80, 120 figures. That's fantastic. I really appreciate that. Ooh, guys with chainmail. Excellent. And like I said, I'll be using these for my own personal stuff, for skirmish gaming. Of course, the Gauls. And we'll see where I go beyond that if I actually sell off some of them. I could. There's more than enough here, but we'll see. I'm going to do this for myself to begin with. Fantastic. Really appreciate that, Ian. So yeah, that's what I got from my friend. And appreciate the care package and all these Wargaming goodies here and all the extras you've included. And that is also what I've got on the paint table and finished off and what I'm going to be working on painting-wise in the coming weeks and days. And as far as gaming, well, I don't have much to show. As you can see underneath this is where I do my board games. I don't know if you could see that. It's my plexiglass. And I could do some miniatures gaming on this little surface here as well. It's not much, but it's all I have at the moment. So there's not much currently going on in the gaming. You can see my dice up there. There will be some role-playing action soon. I've got my Pathfinder well underway. Got a slew of players interested, so I hope to put up some videos on that. We'll see. I hope to just get the game started and start having some fun, really. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'll probably update you guys on my progress with that as I start a new Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign. Also, I might be playing in some D&D online with a good friend from the Paint and Chats and Paint-Alongs. We'll see how that goes. I'm kind of goading him on, really, to see if he'll do it. He's a somewhat experienced DM, Dungeons and Dragons, and I'd love to have a chance to actually play for once instead of being the GM all the time. So I'm kind of nudging him a little bit in that direction. And as always, I'll give you updates on that too. So folks, that's pretty much my update. Stay tuned for more news on my painting projects and my commissions and some video showcases of those Patriot militia or Minutemen that I'm finishing up. That's what's going on right now and what you could expect soon. Outside of that, we'll see. You know, I've been itching to do some more board gaming, but like I said, I'm trying to focus on my Pathfinder right now, so give me at least a couple weeks to get that going and started, and we'll get some more stuff on the table, like Roads to Gettysburg too, which I'm actually anxious to play. And of course, Great Battles of the American Civil War, as always. Okay, folks, that's about all I can think of. So at least like, share, subscribe, all that goodness. Let me know your comments. What do you think of this big haul I got in today? Quite impressive. Damn. It's going to be fun to paint these guys. All right, folks. That's it from me. You guys take care. And as always, remember, hang in there. It's only going to get better. You guys take care. Talk to you soon.